Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something real. When it comes to relationships, especially with men, sometimes you're giving too much, doing too much, and wondering why he's not calling or texting you back. Listen, men are simple creatures, but you got to know how to play this game the right way. It's not about begging for attention. It's about becoming the kind of woman he simply can't ignore. Ladies and gentlemen, let me be real with you for a moment, because sometimes the reason a man doesn't call or text you is not because he doesn't care, but because he's wired differently. A man's mind doesn't operate like a woman's mind, and that's where so many misunderstandings come from. Women are naturally nurturers, communicators, and givers. You love to share how you feel, you love to check in, and you love to stay connected. But men, on the other hand, are not always built that way. Their brains are focused on tasks, goals, and missions. They don't always think, let me call her just to hear her voice. They think, when I get time, I'll check in. Now, this doesn't mean he doesn't care, it just means he's not on your schedule of emotional connection. But here's where things get interesting. A man will call, text, and even chase a woman when she triggers something deep inside of him, when she makes him feel like he could lose her. Men love to win. They love to feel like they've earned something valuable. When you hand him all of your attention too soon, when you're always available and quick to respond, he doesn't feel that fire to pursue you. It's not because he doesn't like you, it's because he already feels like he has you. And in his mind, the chase is over. You have to understand that communication for a man isn't always about frequency, it's about impact. A man will text you when he feels something for you that no other woman is making him feel. That's why your confidence, your energy, and your presence matter so much. When you show him that you can stand on your own 2 feet, that you don't need him to complete you, but instead choose to let him be part of your world, you create this magnetic pull that he can't resist. And let me say this, silence is sometimes louder than words. When you stop calling and texting, when you stop trying to remind him you exist, something starts to happen. He notices the quiet. He wonders why you're not reaching out like you used to. He starts to miss that energy you used to give him. Men are territorial. And when you take back your energy, he suddenly feels like his space with you is being threatened. That's when the phone lights up with his name, because now he feels like he has to do something before someone else does. You have to let a man miss you. Give him room to feel your absence, because that's when he realizes how much he enjoys your presence. If you keep calling, texting, or chasing, he'll never get that chance. You're doing the work for him. And that's not how a man's mind works. He needs to feel like he earned the connection, like he's invested in it. So what's the secret to making him call and text you now? It's not a trick, it's not playing games. It's about shifting your mindset. Focus on you. Pour your energy into your goals, your passions, your friends, and your happiness. When he sees that you're thriving without him, when he notices that you're not sitting around waiting for his attention, that's when he will feel compelled to reach out. Because men are drawn to women who shine on their own. Understanding male psychology isn't about changing who you are. It's about knowing how to protect your value. The right man will call, text, and show up because he knows a woman like you is rare, and he doesn't want to lose that. But first, you have to believe that you deserve that effort. Once you understand that, the calls and texts won't just come. They'll come with genuine intent, because he knows you're not just anyone. You're the prize. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that can change the way you look at relationships forever. A woman who knows her worth doesn't have to chase anyone. When you truly understand your value, you carry yourself differently. You speak differently. You move through life with a confident woman doesn't sit by the phone waiting for someone to validate her. Is too busy living her life, and that's exactly what makes her magnetic. See, when you base your happiness on whether he calls or texts you, you hand over your power. You let his actions determine how you feel about yourself. But when you know who you are, when you stand tall and love yourself first, everything shifts. The energy changes. He starts to feel that you're not chasing him and that you're not desperate for his attention. And that, ladies, is when a man realizes he has to step up or risk losing a woman who is rare and irreplaceable. Men are drawn to confidence like bees to honey. It's not about being arrogant or acting like you don't care. It's about walking in your own light. When you take care of yourself, when you focus on your growth, your dreams, and your happiness, you send out a silent message. I am enough. That message doesn't just resonate with men, it resonates with everyone around you. People can feel your energy, and that energy is what makes someone want to be around you, want to call you, want to text you, and want to invest their time in you. Let me put it this way. A confident woman doesn't beg for love. She attracts it. She knows that her value isn't defined by whether a man is calling her every day or showering her with constant attention. She knows that if he doesn't see her worth, that's his loss, not hers. And that kind of mindset is powerful. It's the mindset that makes a man sit back and think, wow, I better get my act together or someone else will step in. Confidence also sets the tone for how a man treats you. If you respect yourself, he will respect you. If you set boundaries and don't let anyone cross them, he'll know he has to earn your trust and time. When you give yourself too easily, when you're always available, you're teaching him that he doesn't have to put in any effort. But when you hold your head high, focus on your life, and show him that you're perfectly fine with or without him, that's when he knows he's dealing with a woman who can't be taken for granted. And here's the thing, confidence isn't just about how you act with him. It's about how you treat yourself every day. It's in the way you talk to yourself, the way you carry yourself, and the standards you set. Are you investing in your dreams? Are you building a life that makes you happy regardless of whether someone is by your side? When you do that, you naturally give off an energy that draws the right kind of attention. A man will call and text you, not because you demand it, but because he sees you as someone worth pursuing. He sees that you're not just sitting around waiting on him. You're out there living, growing, and shining. And he doesn't want to miss out on being part of that story. Men respect women who respect themselves. They notice when you have your own thing going on. So remember, confidence is quiet, but it's powerful. It's in how you walk into a room, how you smile, and how you don't need constant reassurance. When you believe you're enough, you stop chasing and start attracting. That's when the calls and texts start coming. Not because you begged for them, but because he can't help himself. He knows you're the kind of woman he can't afford to lose. Ladies and gentlemen, let me share something that most women forget in the rush of love and emotions. Men are drawn to mystery. It's not because they don't want to know you. It's because mystery keeps their curiosity alive. A man's mind loves a challenge. When everything about you is revealed too soon, when every text is answered within seconds, and when your entire life is on display, the excitement starts to fade for him. But when you hold back just enough, when you leave a little space for him to wonder, he feels that magnetic pull to know more, to chase, and to keep coming back. Men value what they have to work for. It's not about playing games. It's about letting things unfold naturally without giving away all of your energy at once. When you keep a part of yourself focused on your own life, your passions, your friends, your goals, he begins to realize that you're not living just for him. That sense of independence makes you even more attractive. He starts to see that you're not the type of woman who needs constant validation or attention. You're the type of woman who chooses who gets her time. And that choice makes him step up. Space is another powerful tool that many people underestimate. When you give a man space, you give him the opportunity to miss you. Men need that feeling of longing to remind them why they value you in the first place. If you're always present, always calling, always texting, he doesn't have time to feel that absence. It's in those quiet moments when you're not reaching out that he begins to wonder what you're doing, who you're with, and why you're not thinking about him the way you used to. That curiosity drives him to pick up his phone and reach out to you. Think about this. If someone gives you a song every day, eventually you'll stop listening to it because it's no longer special. But if someone plays that same song just once in a while, it stays on your mind. That's how mystery works. You don't have to be distant or cold. You just have to make sure you're not giving all of yourself away too easily. Let him feel like there's more to discover about you. Let him wonder what you're thinking or how you're spending your time. That small space makes him crave your attention more. Some women believe that constantly showing love, checking in, or always being available is the key to keeping a man. But the truth is, men appreciate a woman who loves herself enough to have her own world. When he sees that your happiness doesn't depend on him, that you have your own plans and your own joy, he feels a strong need to be part of that world. He'll text and call not out of obligation, but because he wants to. Mystery also adds depth to your connection. When a man knows he hasn't completely figured you out, he stays intrigued. He'll ask more questions, he'll make more effort, and he'll value the moments you choose to share with him. It's not about being fake or pretending to be someone else. It's about understanding that your time and energy are precious. You don't owe anyone constant access to you. The key is balance. Don't pull away so much that he feels unwanted, but don't be so available that he forgets to pursue you. Create space for him to invest in you. Let him earn your attention. Because when a man works for something, he respects it more. And when you combine that sense of mystery with genuine warmth and love, you become unforgettable. Men value mystery and space because it keeps the relationship alive, it keeps them curious, and it reminds them not to take you for granted. So let him chase you a little, let him wonder, let him realize that you're not just another person in his life. You're someone worth every call, every text, and every effort he's willing to make. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something powerful. Boundaries are not walls. They are invitations for respect. A woman who knows how to set boundaries commands a man's attention in a way that words alone never could. When you know what you deserve, when you have clear standards for how you want to be treated, you instantly stand out from everyone else. A man will always chase what he feels he could lose, and boundaries create that sense of value. See, when you allow someone to overstep, when you accept behavior that doesn't align with your worth, you teach them that it's okay to treat you that way. But when you confidently say, no, I don't accept that, you make it clear that being in your life is a privilege, not a right. And guess what? Men respect that. In fact, they're drawn to it. A man may not say it out loud, but deep down, he admires a woman who won't let herself be taken for granted. It challenges him to step up, to earn her attention, to make the calls and send the texts, because he knows she's not going to sit around and accept crumbs. Boundaries also communicate self-respect. A man can feel when you value yourself, and it's in those moments that he realizes he has to bring his best self forward. If you're always giving in, always letting things slide, he feels no urgency to chase you. But if you draw the line and show him you won't accept less than what you deserve, he starts to see you as a prize. He starts to recognize that your time, energy, and heart are not something he can just get for free. He has to earn them. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking that saying no will push someone away. But the truth is, a man who's serious about you will be drawn closer by your boundaries. He'll see that you know your value and that you won't settle for less. He'll start making an effort to call, to text, and to show up because he knows that if he doesn't, someone else will. Your boundaries remind him that your life is full and beautiful even without him, and if he wants a place in it, he has to meet your standards. Setting boundaries doesn't mean you're cold or hard to reach. It means you know how to balance love with self-respect. It means you're not afraid to take a step back when you're not being treated right. It means you don't chase, you don't beg, and you don't lower your standards just to keep someone around. And believe me, that kind of energy is magnetic. A man will text and call, not because you asked him to, but because he wants to, because your boundaries make him realize that he can't just give you the bare minimum. He has to give you his best. Think of boundaries like a mirror. They show a man how to treat you by reflecting what you allow. When you're clear about what you need and what you won't tolerate, you attract a higher level of respect and effort. And this isn't just about relationships. It's about life. People in general treat you based on the standards you set. Men like to feel they are winning something of value. When you have boundaries, you make him work for your attention, and that chase is what keeps him invested. Without boundaries, the relationship feels too easy, and easy doesn't always inspire effort. But when you show him that you won't bend just to please him, he understands that you're not someone to play with. You're someone to commit to call, to text, and to cherish. Boundaries are your secret weapon. They don't push a good man away. They make him rise up to the challenge. And when he does, when he calls and texts you, it won't be out of convenience, but because he knows that being in your life is a privilege that he doesn't want to lose. Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to a man calling or texting you, it's not just about what you do, it's about how you make him feel. Men are driven by emotions just as much as women, though they often won't admit it. If you want him to pick up that phone and reach out, you have to tap into the emotional triggers that make you unforgettable in his mind. It's about creating moments and feelings that stick with him long after you're gone. One of the most powerful triggers is admiration. Men want to feel valued, appreciated, and respected. When you show a man that you see his effort, when you compliment his ambition or notice the small things he does, you awaken something inside of him. He feels like you see him in a way no one else does, and that makes him crave more of that energy. He wants to hear your voice again. He wants that connection. It's not about constantly praising him, but about making him feel like his presence in your life has meaning. Another emotional trigger is fun and joy. If every conversation you have with him is heavy or filled with complaints, he's not going to feel drawn to that energy. But when you bring laughter, lightness, and good vibes, he associates you with happiness. Men are like anyone else. They want to be around the people who make them feel good. When your texts bring a smile to his face, when your calls leave him feeling better than before, he'll start reaching out on his own because he doesn't want to lose that spark. Confidence is also a huge trigger. When a man sees that you're not waiting around for him to make you happy, that you're out there living your life, achieving your goals, and glowing from within, it sparks a curiosity in him. He wonders, what is she doing? Who is she with? How is she so happy without me? That's when the phone rings. Men are drawn to women who radiate self-love and independence because it's rare and it makes them want to be part of your world. Mystery is another powerful emotional hook. When you don't give him every detail of your life, when you leave some things unsaid, he's left wanting to know more. You don't need to play games. You just need to let him earn the right to know the deeper parts of you. A little bit of unpredictability keeps him intrigued and keeps him coming back for more. Then there's the trigger of challenge. Men love to feel like they've won something worth winning. When you make it too easy, when you're always available, he loses that drive to pursue. But when you set a standard, when you show him that you won't just give your time and heart to anyone, he feels that challenge. It's not about being difficult. It's about letting him know that your love is valuable and it has to be earned. That's when he starts calling, texting, and making plans because he wants to prove himself worthy of your attention. And finally, emotional connection is key. If you want him to call or text, you have to connect with him in a way that goes beyond the surface. It's about being present, really listening, and sharing meaningful moments. When you leave him feeling understood and seen, he won't just want to talk to you, he'll need to. He'll think of you when something good happens, when something bad happens, or even when he's just bored, because you're the person who makes him feel alive and valued. The truth is, you can't force a man to call or text, but you can create the kind of energy that makes him want to. When you mix admiration, joy, confidence, mystery, challenge, and deep emotional connection, you become unforgettable. And when you're unforgettable, trust me, he'll be the one reaching out, no questions asked. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that many people overlook. The moment you shift your focus from him to yourself is the moment everything begins to change. Too often, women put their lives on hold, waiting for that call or text, thinking that if they just stay available and keep showing love, he'll come running back. But the truth is, nothing is more attractive than a woman who is genuinely happy and fulfilled on her own. Happiness is magnetic. When you live in your life fully, you become impossible to ignore. See, when you stop making him the center of your universe and start investing that energy into yourself, you start to glow differently. There's a light in your eyes, a confidence in your step, and a joy that doesn't depend on whether or not he's paying attention. And believe me, men notice that energy. They can feel when you've stopped chasing and started thriving. It's that shift that makes them wonder, what is she doing now? Who has her smiling like that? That curiosity alone is enough to make him pick up the phone. When you're focused on your happiness, you naturally raise your standards. You're not sitting around waiting for someone to validate you. You're busy doing the things that bring you joy, whether it's pursuing your goals, spending time with your friends, traveling, learning new things, or just enjoying your own company. And when you radiate that kind of contentment, you become the kind of woman who doesn't need a man, but who a man feels lucky to have. Men are drawn to independence and self-love because it shows strength. It shows that you're not relying on them to feel complete. Instead, you're choosing them from a place of confidence. When you're happy with yourself, you don't cling, you don't demand attention. You give off this effortless vibe that makes them want to come closer. They see that you're living life with or without them, and that's when they realize they can lose someone truly special if they don't step up. Another thing about focusing on your happiness is that it shifts your energy from lack to abundance. When you're constantly thinking, why hasn't he called me? You're sending out a desperate energy. But when you're busy living your best life, you're sending out a powerful energy that says, I'm good, I'm thriving, I'm not waiting on anyone. That kind of energy is irresistible. It makes him want to be part of your world because you're not giving him the satisfaction of knowing he controls your mood or your day. Your happiness also reminds him of why he was attracted to you in the first place. Think about it. When you first met, you probably weren't stressing over him. You were confident, vibrant, and living your life. That's what caught his attention. Over time, sometimes we forget to maintain that same energy because we get too focused on the relationship. But when you bring that energy back, when you show him that you are still that woman with dreams, passion, and joy, you reignite the spark that made him fall for you in the first place. The beauty of focusing on yourself is that it doesn't just draw him back, it transforms you. You become happier, healthier, and more fulfilled. You start to attract better energy, not just from him, but from everyone around you. And when he sees that glow, when he sees that you're doing just fine without him, that's when the calls and texts start coming in. Not because you begged for them, but because your happiness made him realize your value all over again. So remember, the best thing you can do is stop waiting and start living. Be the woman who doesn't need anyone to make her shine. When you're truly happy with yourself, he won't just call or text you. He'll want to be part of that happiness because he knows it's real and it's something he can't find anywhere else.